Vitamin D resurfaced again on the screen, and there was this thing around, oh, black people are more at risk because they are more exposed to vitamin D deficiency. Why is vitamin D such a big deal for black people, or whether vitamin D or vitamin D deficiency? Why is it such a big deal? Why the black race again? Hello, welcome back to my channel, Food Decoded. My name is Yemi Fadikpe, and I'm so delighted to have you here. On this platform, I help the black community reset their relationship with food, lose weight, keep it off, and eat healthy. Today's video, I want to talk about vitamin D and what all the fuss is about. You know, when COVID hit, there was so much drama and, people were looking for all sorts of cure, and suddenly vitamin D resurfaced again on the screen, in the news, and there was this thing around, oh, black people are more at risk because they are more exposed to vitamin D deficiency. Oh, black people don't have enough vitamin D, so their immunity. And I'm like, God help black people, God help this skin, this brown skin. But let's face it, it's not just media, it's not just noise, but I want to explain today what the fuss is actually about. Why is vitamin D such a big deal for black people? Now, vitamin D is basically a fat-soluble vitamin. The benefit for your body is it helps your body to absorb and retain calcium and phosphorus. And those two elements are critical for your bone strength and your bone development. Other than that, there are other health benefits that have been linked to vitamin D, including heart health and immunity boosting. And every day research keeps coming out linking a deficiency in vitamin D to some conditions like depression, osteoporosis, fatigue, high blood pressure. So there's different conditions that are constantly being researched and linked to vitamin D deficiency. So that's one of the reasons why vitamin D is a very important nutrient. But then of all the vitamins, it's sort of a unique one in that there are limited food sources of vitamin D, and this vitamin is one that the body makes. The body makes vitamin D. And how that happens is UV light from the sun turns a chemical in your skin to vitamin D3, which is transported to your liver and then the kidney, where it's actually changed to the active vitamin D. If it's the sun and our skin, everybody at least gets a glimpse of the sun. Everybody has a skin. So what's the problem? Why is it a big deal for black people? The reason why vitamin D is such a big deal for black people is because people who have darker skins, like mine, our skin is dark because of a pigment called melanin. And melanin is there to shade our skin from the damaging effects of the rays from the sun. But in fulfilling that role, it also means that our body is taking less UV rays to produce the vitamin D. So people who have dark skin, because of melanin, our skin produce less vitamin D than people with lighter skin. Now, this will probably not be a problem if you live in a part of the world where there is plenty of sunshine. When I lived in Africa, vitamin D deficiency was never an issue for me. The first time I was ever diagnosed with vitamin D deficiency was after I'd moved to the UK, and we know that the UK is mostly rain. You just get a little bit of sunshine. And that is when I started realizing that vitamin D was a big deal. Before then, back home, sun was not a problem. So we really didn't feel the impact of not producing enough. That's the main reason, basically, why it's such a big deal for black people. The pigment on our skin means that we're producing less vitamin D. But then that's also the same pigment that makes us less exposed to skin cancer than other people. So there is nothing wrong with you having melanin in your skin. It's good. It's the way nature has made it. And you will notice that those of us who have melanin on our skin, who are dark-skinned, tend to naturally originate from countries that are tropical, where there is plenty of sunshine. So God has so done it in a beautiful way that those of us who need a lot of sunshine to make our vitamin D live are made to live in sunny parts. Nature has done it well. The other factors that then come into play as modernization comes in and our lifestyle change and we start to migrate to different parts of the world, that is where the other risk factors then start to come in and aggravate the deficiencies. Other risk factors that have now come into play as a result of our change in lifestyle would be things like limited time of exposure to sunshine. We tend to be more indoors these days than outdoors. The use of skin products like sunscreens. Sunscreens are known to reduce your vitamin D absorption by about 90%. And I know that a lot of us that use sunscreen use it because you're trying to avoid skin cancer. But if you're a person of color, you want to try to limit the amount of sunscreen you use or the strength. So I know that they do it in numbers, SPF 20, SPF 30. You don't want to use a sun protection film that is too high because already your melamine is shading your skin from the ultraviolet ray from the sun to some extent. For older people that tend to become more sedentary, more indoors because of the way of life, maybe you're retired, you don't have to go to work, go out as much as you used to do, or if you're in a culture where you have to put on clothing that covers every part of your body, maybe for religious purposes or for cultural purposes, that again is shielding you from the sun. So the last factor will be where you live. If you live in a part of the world where there's very little sunshine in the year, the chances are that you could be exposed to vitamin D deficiency. So it's not necessarily anything wrong with us as Black. It's just because the nature of our skin, the biology of our skin means that we don't produce as much vitamin D in our body. That means that we need to get as much as we can also from these limited food sources of vitamin D to supplement what our body is making. And in addition to that, it's always recommended to also take vitamin D supplements. But what I would say is, please do not self-medicate yourself. If you need to take vitamin D supplements, which I think a lot of Black adults do need to, especially if you live in a temperate climate, then please speak to your medical professional, speak to your doctors to get the right dose. But it's definitely one thing to consider if you know that you are exposed to limited outdoor time, sunscreen, clothing, and all of that. You want to do something about that to ensure that you're getting enough vitamin D. And the best food sources would be fatty fish and fish oils. Yes, I know that we've talked about fatty fish before, and how much you should eat of it. But those are the best sources of vitamin D. You will find some vitamin D in eggs, in very little amounts. In eggs, the vitamin D is concentrated mostly in the yolk. This will start to bring to light when people tell you, don't eat this food, only eat that food. I hope that by the time you've watched a few of my videos, you're starting to see the reason why I always tell you, anyone that tells you don't eat a particular food completely is probably giving you wrong advice, because there is something good in every meal. You just have to know the right quantities. So I've included in the description below portion size guide that you can use to sort of get a feel of what your portion sizes are for different types of food, and you can start to use that to create healthy meals. Your fatty fish will be things like cod, salmon, mackerel, swordfish, tuna fish, sardine. And if you want to get your vitamin D from other sources, some food products are fortified. So using milk, some milks are fortified with vitamin D, some breakfast cereals are fortified with vitamin D. So you want to look out for that. So this is one of the cases where if you're trying to avoid additives in your food, vitamin D is a nutrient and it's there as a means of food fortification or food supplementation. So please don't run away when you see with added vitamin D on your label. Let's face it, for most people, the best way to get it will still be to have supplements, like I said earlier. So if you're living in a part of the world where there is no sunshine, you're someone like me, dark color, and you're not in your natural habitat, which is like sunshine, like Spain, like Cyprus, like Nigeria, then please talk to your doctor and get the right dose of vitamin D to supplement. I've once been diagnosed with vitamin D deficiency, and that's the first time I actually understood the importance of it. But when they tell you that it makes you feel depressed, it raises blood pressure, I could not believe my ears when the doctor said all I had was vitamin D deficiency, because the symptoms were not good at all. I had to be put on high dose for a limited time to bring me back to the right level and then down to the normal dose. That's why there's so much fuss around vitamin D. So when you hear in the news that Black people are more at risk of vitamin D deficiency, it's not a political statement. It's just basic science. It's not because anything is wrong with us. It's just because of our makeup, the makeup and the composition of our skin that exposes us. But we have all that means, and there's no need to suffer unnecessarily. There's no need to get depressed because of vitamin D deficiency. There's no need to be exposed to high blood pressure because of vitamin D deficiency, because there are ways to get around that. Put it in your diet, get enough sunshine, go out, exercise, get some outdoor activity into your life in the morning when you can. Don't just be bottled up in a car with AC all day feeling like that's the life. No, that is not the life. Get some natural sunshine and talk to your doctor to get supplements. Information is key, and I hope that you found this very useful today. So please subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know what you think. Have you experienced vitamin D deficiency before? What were the symptoms that you noticed? How did you get to know that that was what you had? Because I think it's going to help other people who are watching. Thank you so much for always coming by. It makes my day. It motivates me. Please continue to feedback. Tell me what you want me to talk about. Ask me questions, and I will definitely come back with answers on this channel. See you in the next video.